Hi, I'm Colonel Al Faxon, USMC with the Vermont Veterans Home. Today I'm honored to be participating in the Army's 245th birthday. Today what we're going to do is we're going to cut the cake, and I want to show you this cake that our dietary staff at the Vermont Veterans Home made from scratch. Really pretty amazing. And the cake will be cut during this ceremony, and later on it will be served during the meal. Now today, performing the ceremony, as I put my mask on to make sure that I'm COVID-19 compliant, we have Sean Trombley, who is a teammate from our rehab department, and he will be cutting the cake today. So he will cut it with my Marine Corps Malamute sword. Sean?
Nice. Okay. Ready, Ed? This is Ed Smith. He's gonna go ahead. Put your hands right up there. Yep. Good. I'll slice it together. All right. Going down. Beautiful. Okay.
Very nice.
Great.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Nice job.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, gentlemen.
At least you didn't lick the frosting off.
That comes later.
Exactly. Now, Sean is going to give us a little history of the United States Army. Sean?
Okay. Yeah. Happy birthday, Army. 245 years old.
You look good for 245.
Oh, why, thank you.
So do I, don't I?
Right? You do.
Had his
All
face
right.
lift.
An Army for Freedom. On 14th of June, 1775, the Second Continental Congress formed the Continental Army as a means for the 13 unified American colonies to fight against the British forces. George Washington was unanimously elected Commander-in-Chief of the Army and would go on to lead the colonies to victory and the independence. And some known facts, little known facts about the Army. The first one is the Army is actually older than the country. 1775 was the birth of the Army, and 1776 is the birth of the country. So we're a year older than the country. Yeah. Another one is the Army pioneered modern guerrilla warfare. General Francis Swamp Fox Marion pioneered modern guerrilla warfare during the Revolutionary War. He traveled along swamp paths and led his men in surprise attacks against unsuspecting British troops. And then they would withdraw unexpectedly, just as they had popped up. And George Washington chose the Army dress colors. The Army dress colors were chosen in 1779, and over the years they flipped back and forth with the choices, but in 2010 they went back to the original colors that George Washington had picked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there have been only five-star generals in the history of the Army, and they didn't exist with that rank until 1944, and that was given out to President Dwight Eisenhower, and the ranks of a five-star general were retired in 1981 when the last surviving five-star general, Omar Bradley, passed away. Another little known fact is the Air Force used to be part of the Army. Yeah, it was called the Army Air Corps. The National Security Act of 1947 turned it into its own separate branch of the armed forces. Hooray, Air Force.
Yeah. Go.
The first submarine was used by the Army in the Revolutionary War. It's a long time ago, but the technology was there. They called it the Turtle. It was operated with hand and foot controls, and it was used in a mission. The mission was unsuccessful against the British troops. It was off the coast of New York City.
Yeah.
Yep. The Ranger slogan was created during the Normandy invasion. Rangers lead the way was adopted by the Army Rangers during the exchange on Omaha Beach during the Normandy invasion. General Norman Cota said to Major Max Schneider, "If you're Rangers, lead the way."
Yeah.
There are over 1 million personnel in the Army. Yeah, we have over almost 500,000 regular Army, almost 350,000 Army National Guard, and almost 200,000 Army Reserve. In addition to that, there's about 1/3 of a million civilian personnel too, so a lot of people. The Army is responsible for Ray-Ban sunglasses, you know, those neat teardrop shape that originated in the Army. U.S. Army Air Corps Lieutenant General John McCready asked Bausch & Lomb to make the glasses for his pilots so they could block out the rays of the sun and reduce nausea and headaches. And thus, the company Ray-Ban was formed. There are about 500 dogs in the Army. That's right. Yeah, military working dogs that are trained for all different things, including attack, detection, and patrol. They specialize sometimes in narcotics or explosives detection. And the dogs have to undergo 16 hours of training each month, in addition to quarterly evaluations. 16 presidents have served in the Army. Total of 31 presidents have served in the United States Armed Forces, and 16 of those, including Teddy Roosevelt, served in the Army specifically. The Army mapped much of America. When the Army wasn't fighting in wars, they were out mapping the country. In fact, Army officers and non-commissioned officers made up the Lewis and Clark expedition that helped map out the uncharted territory of the American West. So a lot of history, a lot of tidbits there.
Yeah,
So
there are.
happy birthday, Army.
But before, Sean, you get off the hook, you got to tell us a little bit about your time in the Army.
Okay. Yeah, I was in the Army for a couple of years back in the late 80s. I was during peacetime then, but a lot of good experiences. It taught me a lot about commitment and just growing up and following through with things in life. I was a generator mechanic. I worked at 596 Maintenance Company in Darmstadt, Germany. So I got to see Germany. It was a good experience, and served my country. So a lot of good benefits from that. So, and I've been here for about 7 years, and I love what I do, working with veterans, and
Well, we're glad to have you here. Well,
Thank
we're not
you.
allowed to shake hands, but
okay.
we could do the COVID elbow.
Yep.
Hey,
Right, Ed?
Ed, yeah, you want to say it?
There you go. And happy birthday, U.S. Army,
Happy
245.
birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.